according to Beneil Dariush, it appears that the next fight for Dustin Poirier for his retirement fight is Max Holloway now. Nothing's official. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a rumor because I don't know where Beneil has heard this information. But I mean, it does kind of make sense because Poirier did say that he does want a legend for his retirement fight. He's over fighting these up-and-comers or over fighting someone who doesn't really have a big significant name. And Max Holloway is a legend. He is the BMF champion. Max and Dustin have already fought twice. Their second fight was one of the best fights of the 2010s. Amazing fight. Why would you not want to run that back? Especially now that Max Holloway is more acclimated to the lightweight division, 6 years removed from when he first moved up to lightweight to fight Dustin. So it kind of does give Max Holloway better odds. And I just can't really see who else you would give him. I mean, there's also, the Gaethje trilogy, but Gaethje said if Poirier doesn't want it, he doesn't want it because both their families don't deserve it. I highly doubt they'd make Arman Tsarukyan versus Dustin because they both train at ATT. And Arman is on a different career trajectory. His career is not over yet, and he's focusing right now on re-earning his title shot. You could maybe do Oliveira Poirier too. But honestly, I thought the most logical fight to make was actually Holloway Oliveira 2 as opposed to, Holloway Poirier 3. But if that is the next fight, it is what it is, and I'm all here for it. But at the same time, I'm kind of not. I kind of don't like this fight for Max or Dustin, because for Dustin's last fight, I want him to fight someone who I'm not going to be rooting for. Because I've been a Max Holloway fanboy since 2017, ride or die. I'm going to want him to win this fight, but I'm not going to want Dustin to lose his last fight in his career. But another thing that kind of worries me is Poirier has a knack for never losing 2 in a row, and Holloway kind of has a knack for losing twice or thrice to the same person, Volkanovski, and then lost twice to Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier is a dangerous matchup for Max, even though Max has gotten better since then, even though he is a better lightweight now than he was back then, even though he outclassed Gaethje, who knocked out Poirier. He's 1-1 with them. Styles make matchups, and now we've recently seen Holloway's chin get cracked, so that changes things. We now know Holloway can be put away by a power striker, and Dustin Poirier did hurt Holloway before in that second fight. Who's to say that if he hurts him now, that he's not going to be able to this time capitalize and TKO or KO Max Holloway once he hurts him? He might be able to put the nail in the coffin if this trilogy does happen due to Max Holloway's chin and recovery being spent due to all those years of damage he's endured and all the wars he's been in. He might not be able to endure 5 rounds of damage the same way like he did the first or the second time. And also, Poirier's style, like I said, is a little bit different from Gaethje's. Styles make fights. Poirier's boxing, I believe, is better than Gaethje. I feel like he'd have a better understanding of how to deal with Holloway's striking style as opposed to Gaethje. Dustin closes distance better. He puts together combinations better. All around, I feel like he's just slightly more technical than Justin Gaethje. Gaethje whiffs a lot. He's very predictable when he loads up on his shots, which kind of allow Max Holloway to dance around him and pick him apart. It'll be a little bit harder to do to Dustin. I think Max's best shot at winning this fight is he can't be deterred coming off the knockout loss to Ilya. He's got to be in the UFC 300 form he was in, but Dustin has to be washed up and demotivated. But I don't think he's going to lack motivation with this being his final ever career fight, especially if this happens in Louisiana for his final fight, because that's where he wants it. I don't know. It's tough. Max Holloway will be a favorite. I've been seeing a lot of people saying they think Holloway wins this time, but I kind of have my doubts. I think Dustin might actually win the trilogy against Max, which I hate because I don't want Max to go from looking like he had a bright future in lightweight when he knocked out Gaethje, just to then go on a 2-fight losing streak to Ilya at featherweight, then move back up, and then lose again to the guy who already beat him 6 years prior, and lose again to a man who's like basically on his way out and about to retire. That would just suck if you're in the corner of Max Holloway. But regardless, if this fight does happen, may the best man win. But I hope it doesn't happen. Just make the Gaethje trilogy, make the Gaethje trilogy, and then do Holloway versus Oliveira 2. That fight makes more sense, and do Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker while Ilia Topuria fights Islam Makhachev. That's better matchmaking. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How would you guys matchmake all these top contenders who I mentioned? What are your thoughts on a potential trilogy between Holloway and Poirier, and who would win it? Like and subscribe, and peace out.